the Steakhouse in Helena. Caleb Brooks joined by head football coach, Coach Richie Busby, fresh off of a huge region victory on Friday night for your guys, getting a win over Briarwood, 31-21. And Coach, the reason this win was huge is it mathematically now it makes it very difficult for Briarwood to get in contention to be able to host a playoff game, and for you guys now, you control your own destiny going forward and being able to host a playoff game. So had to be really pleased with the performance your team put on Friday night.
Yeah, we had talked about, last week's win before the Briarwood win, kind of what it did in the standing-wise, and I didn't feel like it had done a whole lot. But, I think with the win over Briarwood now, it kind of puts you in a position take care of business the next couple of weeks. You're going to be battling for a home playoff spot. Homewood is now really, really, really in the driver's seat. They're going to have to lose twice to lose the region championship. So, it looks like it's going to come down to, like we said, a group of teams fighting for 2 and 3.
When you look at this Briarwood team, what were some of the things that they were able to do to, score a few points against your guys, but obviously still a really good performance to hold a 5-star quarterback to 21 points over 4 quarters?
Yeah, our defense played great all night long. One thing Briarwood didn't do, they didn't try to run the ball between the tackles. I mean, they ran speed option, and they threw the ball all night long. 2 of the touchdowns they got, Chris made unbelievable throws. The one in the back of the end zone before the half was just unbelievable, and couldn't have put the ball in a tighter window. And then he threw another one later in the game that was the same way. I mean, he showed his talents right there, but just super proud of our defense. We sacked him 4 times. We hit him and hurt him probably another 8 to 10 times. So I think it was, we challenged our kids all week long to play a complete game, and I think that's as close as we've come to playing a complete game this year. Our offensive line took over and created some running lanes for Jordan. He had 4 touchdowns, and Dalton made some throws, some key throws on a lot of third down conversions to Torrey and Hunter that kept the chains alive. I'm not exactly sure what our third down conversion rate was, but on 2 of the drives in the second half, it was almost 100%.
When you look at the importance of this game, things like that, you had to feel really good about the fact that your team didn't go out there and play really tight in a big game, a big moment, going on the road, different type of atmosphere. What did that really show you about this group with how they handled that part of everything on Friday night?
Well, I thought they did a really good job. First of all week. I told them all week, I said, you've practiced well all week. You're ready for this game. When we went over there Friday and just watching us warm up and get dressed and getting ready, I don't think we were really tight. I think they were focused, but at the same time, I think they knew they had practiced well. They knew they were prepared. We didn't have any turnovers. I think it was probably the best game we had played in kickoff and punt coverage all year. And we talked about that last week, that it would come down to turnovers and special teams and tackling and that kind of stuff. And I think we did a pretty good job in all those areas. When you play a quarterback like that guy, he's going to get some points on you because he can put balls in windows that you're just not used to defending. But we did make them one-dimensional. I think he ran the ball twice in the first quarter, and Matthew Thompson and Nathan Thomason got pretty good hits on him early in the game, and they just kind of abandoned running him Friday night, which completely helped us because we talked about if we could make him one-dimensional. I didn't think we could, but they kind of abandoned it. They ran speed option and that kind of stuff. But D-line did a really good job of getting pressure on him. When they didn't get to him on the sack, they did hurry him and make him make some uncharacteristic reads. We had 2 picks, and for him to throw 2 picks in one game is, by watching film, is not. He hasn't done that a lot.
How did you feel about the offense's performance as a whole, being able to go and score 31 points? They're a defense that every coach will tell you they're not just super athletic, but they're going to be able to go out and just be in the right spot, be in the right places, and to go and put up 31 points is a pretty good accomplishment for your offense and what you are able to do.
Well, the one thing we figured out real early in the game is running sideline to sideline is not going to work because they play with tremendous effort, and they're really good tacklers. Late in the first quarter, maybe first of the second quarter, our center, Reese Mims, came to me and said, Coach, we can run right at them. We went out the next possession and ran, a gap lead, and Jordan went for 80. So that's kind of how we got going there. And then we did run the ball on the perimeter some, but it was hard yardage out there. And then, like I said, Dalton and Torrey and Hunter made some great third down conversions when we really needed them to keep drives alive and to keep him off the field. We talked about that last week too. Is our best offense is probably just keeping him on the sideline as much as possible. And I think we did a pretty good job of all those things last Friday night.
How was it getting to the stadium?
Wasn't too bad. We did hit some traffic there in Oak Mountain. You're always going to get traffic right there in Oak Mountain. But we got there pretty much, when we thought it was a little bit of a rush. Our equipment truck had a little harder time getting there than we did, so when we got there. But, our kids handled it well. They went out on the field. You're a long way from the field there, so, you're like, worried about them going out walking the field and getting back. And they had a bunch of activities going on senior night, their 50th year anniversary of high school football there. Coach Yancey was there on hand. There was a big crowd, and you got to walk through their parking lot to get to the field. So we handled all that stuff well, and they're a first-class bunch, and we didn't have any issues, and it was a good night. It was a good football game.
You talk about the walking back and forth. Where does that play into effect at like halftime? That 2.5 to 4 minute walk for your guys to get there and then get back to the field. Does it shorten how long that you can talk to guys at halftime, make adjustments, things like that?
Yeah, and they're right teeter-totter right on the point where do we go in or do we stay out? The problem with staying out, with a band like ours that's so big and makes so much noise, it's really, really hard to get them to focus on what you're trying to adjust. And we just haven't had a lot of success by staying out. So even in Chilton County with a long walk there, we figured it'd be best to get back in there because all our halftime fruit and snacks and drinks and all that stuff's already there. So even if you have 4 or 5 minutes, I feel like it's better to go inside than it is to try to stay outside because I think it's hard for them to stay in the moment, stay focused on what's going on.
Looking at this week, it's a bye week for you guys. I've talked to a lot of coaches about I love having the bye week. When I played, we didn't have a bye week. You just started and played all the way through. But I think that with as much as we ask of kids now, with how much we do in the spring, the summer, the off season, all that, I think it's good to have this week in the middle of the season to give the guys a week off. And you feel like this is coming at a perfect time for y'all?
Yeah, I think it's a good time, and the maturity of your team really shows in an off week and how you practice that week and how you come back the next week. And, we revamped ours a little bit. We're actually practicing one more day than we usually do. In the past, we've given off Monday and Friday. We just felt like we needed to come in on Monday and lift weights that day and just try to stay in the flow of what we've got going on and try to keep them sharp. But we're not over practicing. We're going about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes, and then we're coming in and lifting weights every day. Some things that you don't, we lift weights 2 times a week during the season, regular week. So we're getting in 3 this week. We're going to take off Wednesday, but add an extra day in the weight room, take a little time off practice. Not a whole lot of contact going on in practice, a lot of individual work, a lot of technique stuff, but still installing some of the game plan, just trying to get ahead of the game there. And then we'll come back Sunday and really hone in on what we're going to do, and then Monday we'll just be in a normal week. But trying to do a little more than we used to, but not overdo it. Still find a way for them to stay sharp, but continue to heal up some of these injuries we got.
Another big thing is just the mental refresher it gives, not having to focus on another team, worry about figuring out another game plan. Do you think that that's a big thing for kids in the middle of the year, especially when you're trying to go as deep as your team is trying to go?
Oh, I think the mental part of it's huge, not only for the players but for the coaches. When you're just every week, it's just bam, bam, another game plan, another trying to find a way to move the ball and to stop somebody and all that stuff. What we've kind of done this week is we've kind of started our game plan and kind of implementing a few things each day, and with that we'll also eliminate some things that look good on the grease board, but when we get outside it's not very good. So kind of allowed us a head start, but not to get too far ahead of ourselves, just kind of look at some stuff that we think may work, because if you watch us play, we do a lot of the same things, but every week it looks different. I just feel like we have to do that to kind of even the playing field some Friday nights. And, so we're trying some different things this week, and some of it looks good and some of it doesn't.
Are you a guy that likes to self-scout, like on the bye week, look at what you've done up to this point, look and say, hey, when we're on the right hash, we do this sometimes too much, or are you a guy that likes to look at that stuff?
Right, yeah, we do, and we've got a couple guys that have retired, and going on to do whatever, and we got them kind of looking at our stuff. And with Huddle now, you can just basically hit a button and get all your self-scouting stuff. And we all have tendencies, and there's just some that you're never going to break. You feel good about things, and you're going to do them that way. What we try to do is disguise with formations and motions and that kind of stuff. But we know we have some tendencies, just like anybody does. But yes, there is some self-scouting going on this week, and usually by week 5 we try to do that too. So we're a little later than normal, but we've already done some of that, but we're doing more of it this week.
I played for Coach Danny Horn at Benjamin Russell, and one of the things that he doesn't like about the bye week is getting out of a routine. He's a routine guy, loves a routine. Is that one thing that does concern you as a coach about this week, is getting out of that game routine?
Well, there's several things you look at a bye week for. One, most of us look at it as a time for, if it's the certain point of the year, you're trying to heal up and that kind of stuff. But I'm always worried about it breaking your momentum, and that goes back to what you're talking about, the flow and the urgency that you have each week. You kind of back off from that. Do you have the ability to kind of get back on the gas come Monday? And that's always a concern, because I've been doing this long enough. I've had some teams that were really, really playing good, and then you hit an off week and you lose all your momentum. You lose your edge, so that's always a worry of any coach. But I'm like you, back when I played, you just played 10 straight weeks and you did what you could do. So, I think it's 6 1, half dozen of the other.
Coach, really appreciate you taking the time to join us again here this week. Enjoy the off week, not having to worry about a game on Friday night, and look forward to being back here next week as we preview the next one and start getting ready for this big second stretch here of the season.
All right, thank you, Caleb. Go Huskies.
We'll be back with more here on Howlin with the Huskies, live from the Steakhouse in Helena right after this. The Steakhouse of Helena is the place for community gatherings, rich history, and delectable, made-from-scratch meals. Our professional staff is dedicated to serving you with the best steaks, chops, burgers, salads, sandwiches, and more. You'll enjoy a welcoming community atmosphere, local history, and enjoyable dishes you won't find anywhere else. Our restaurant is perfect for the entire family, business events, and special occasions. So come on down to the Steakhouse in historic Old Town Helena. Welcome back in. Howlin with the Huskies, live from the Steakhouse in Helena. Caleb Brooks now joined by head flag football coach Clint Ewan. And Coach, this is the second year of girls flag football sanctioned by the Alabama High School Athletic Association, and it's a great opportunity for girls to get involved, play football, but not have to go out there and wear the pads and be out there with all the guys. And year 2 of this now, you did it in year 1, coached them and all that. How much smoother have things gone now in the second year of having the sport around, and you kind of getting a feel of what this is going to be like and what's going on out there?
Yeah, the second year has gone a lot smoother. We had summer workouts and stuff, so we actually had a foundation and stuff going into the season. And as well, last year was kind of like a blur. We kind of got started kind of late and everything, and then it was over just like that. So we're a lot more prepared and stuff this year for the second year of flag football.
A lot of these girls that you have on the team play other sports as well, and so how much do you feel like doing this, going to summer workouts, doing all this stuff, playing a different sport, how much is that going to benefit them in the other sports that they do participate in at Helena?
Yeah, it's going to benefit them a lot, especially since some of them, they play softball, soccer. I have some basketball girls as well, so all of the movements and everything are kind of the same, and so it benefits them definitely in their sports. And so also kind of terminology kind of related to their sports that they play and stuff as well.
The way that flag football set up is a lot different than what you see on Friday nights. It's not 11 on 11. You don't have 5 linemen out there hitting each other, and so how different is the schemes and the way that you set up plays and things like that compared to regular football?
Yeah, I would say that it's a lot different because every single person that's out there is eligible as a receiver. But when it comes to routes and everything, they're definitely the same. We might not be as sophisticated as like with the combination routes and stuff as regular football, but it's pretty similar. It's just only thing that's different is you don't have blockers or anything like that. So.
How tough does that make it, to do stuff, when you're not allowed to block, you're not allowed to put your hands on other people and things like that? That's got to make it a lot more difficult out there to do stuff for these girls, whereas in football you see a guy go get a blindside block and stuff like that to set something up.
Yeah, so I think in flag football it's a lot more the quarterback and stuff kind of rolling out, using her athleticism and everything is what you see a lot. Throwing it deep or just short routes as well, trying to get out to your speedy receivers and get it up and go to the sideline. So.
When you look at these girls, how much better do you feel like they have grasped this sport and what this sport entails and the concepts and all that different stuff of it here in year 2?
Yeah, they've a lot better this year. We have probably 8 or so that returning from last year, and then they're also still pretty young. So I have 16 girls, and probably around 10 or so are all juniors. So coming next year, I have 0 seniors. So next year, I have a ton of seniors coming back and everything. So. Their experience from last year has helped tremendously. We've been a lot competitive and stuff this year as well. So.
Are you seeing the interest in this growing as well, like from other girls that aren't maybe playing this year, that are watching them play and seeing it and then maybe wanting to get involved in the future?
Yeah, I have. So I've had several girls come up to me like, when's interest meetings or whatever for all of that. So. Yeah, I would say it's growing a lot, especially across the state as well.
Where's doing this really benefited you the most as a coach?
So I guess it's really just like with the head coaching aspect of it, of trying to get everything scheduled and everything, because the other one, I'm just an assistant coach for girls basketball as well, so I don't have all that responsibility. So I'd say that helping all the responsibilities of a head coach and stuff are.
How much did it help, that you have coached girls before, you have, you know what that relationship and stuff is like? How much did that benefit you in doing this?
It's benefited a lot this year. So kind of let the girls have fun and stuff. And if they're having fun, then we'll go out there and we'll be competitive and we'll win. Whereas, with boys, they have to win to have fun. So it's benefited a lot more.
What is still left for you guys as we get close to the postseason and trying to go and compete for a championship?
All right, yeah. So we are getting into area play starting tomorrow against Hoover. So it's just us and Hoover in our area. So we'll play them tomorrow, and then we'll play Hoover again October 25th, and then we'll have playoffs after that. So that's kind of what we're looking forward to now. Got about 3 or 4 more games left in the season, so that's what we have left.
Where can people go and kind of find a schedule and find opportunities to come out and watch you guys?
Yeah, so we are on Twitter at Helena Flag. We're also on Instagram as well. So that's kind of the 2 main spots you can find our schedule and everything like that. And then also Helena Husky Sports as well. So.
Awesome. Well, Coach, really appreciate you taking the time to join us here tonight, and good luck to you and your girls the rest of the season. Really look forward to seeing how things go for y'all.
Yes, thank you.
We'll be back with more here on Howlin with the Huskies right after this.
The Steakhouse of Helena is the place for community gatherings, rich history, and delectable, made-from-scratch meals. Our professional staff is dedicated to serving you with the best steaks, chops, burgers, salads, sandwiches, and more. You'll enjoy a welcoming community atmosphere, local history, and enjoyable dishes you won't find anywhere else. Our restaurant is perfect for the entire family, business events, and special occasions. So come on down to the Steakhouse in historic Old Town Helena.
Welcome back in. Howlin with the Huskies live from the Steakhouse in Helena. Caleb Brooks now joined by Grace Wilkins, junior member of the girls flag football team at Helena High School, quarterback of the team. And, Grace, this is a new sport that just got sanctioned by the AHSAA, and having this opportunity to do this, to be a part of this team, and to get to go out and do what you guys get to do each week, just how fun is this, and what kind of blessing has it been for y'all to have this chance and this opportunity now over the last 2 years?
It's been really fun. It's been quite an opportunity. Ever since I was younger, I always wanted to play football. And then when I heard that flag football is an option for us, I was really down for it.
Playing the quarterback position, there's a lot asked of you in playing the quarterback position in flag football. As Coach was saying, nobody blocks for you. You're having to kind of run around and do stuff. Just how much do you feel like you've grown in that position as this season has gone on and you've gotten experience and played a lot of games there now?
I feel like it's helped me a lot. It's really put pressure on me and just helped me, like, as a person, figure out how to just handle it. So.
Where do you feel like that this has also helped you in softball? I see your softball shirt on and know that you play that as well. And so where do you feel like getting to do this and playing a different sport like this has really benefited you when it comes to that?
I think it's helped me become more of a leader, just kind of QB on the field. I get to call some of the plays, so I think it'll help me in softball, just step up more.
When you look at flag football, you know, we talked about some of the differences and things like that. How fun has it been to learn the plays, learn some of the concepts, and be able to maybe watch some games on Friday night and Saturday night and go, you know, hey, I know what the quarterback was kind of looking for right there.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been quite an experience. Like with my friends getting out there to play and have fun and compete. I really like it.
You know, you talk about your friends, things like that. Coach said that he's seeing more and more girls now get interested in. Are you kind of seeing the same thing at school with girls wanting to be involved in this and be on the team with y'all?
Yes, sir. I've had some girls come up to me and talk about playing next year because they see how much fun we're having and just good connections with everyone.
How do you feel about the way that this team has been able to play so far this year?
We've been good. Like, we've been practicing and working hard. Like, it might not have paid off, but, like, we've been having fun and we've been competing. The games have been close.
Going to have Hoover coming up, 2 big area games for y'all, and you know, just looking at those, how important are these games for y'all, and y'all want to go and accomplish what y'all want to accomplish this year, and the importance of going out there and playing well in these games?
These are some big games. They're good competitors, but I think we can step up to the plate, and I really think we have a good shot at winning.
What do you think are the things that you are going to have to do really well in those games to be able to come out victorious and have a chance to go to the postseason?
I think we need to be more fast-paced in our games and just be ready, like what plays we're going to run and everything, just so we can just get it done and just win.
Awesome. Well, Grace, listen, really appreciate you taking the time to come up here and join us here on Howlin with the Huskies, and good luck to y'all here over the next couple of weeks. Really look forward to seeing how things go for y'all.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more here on Howlin with the Huskies right after this. The Steakhouse of Helena is the place for community gatherings, rich history, and delectable, made-from-scratch meals. Our professional staff is dedicated to serving you with the best steaks, chops, burgers, salads, sandwiches, and more. You'll enjoy a welcoming community atmosphere, local history, and enjoyable dishes you won't find anywhere else. Our restaurant is perfect for the entire family, business events, and special occasions. So come on down to the Steakhouse in historic Old Town Helena. Welcome back in. Howlin with the Huskies live from the Steakhouse in Helena. Caleb Brooks now joined by Ava Middlebrooks, junior member of the girls flag football team at Helena High School. And Ava, just kind of tell me a little bit about this season, you know, year 2 now of girls flag football at Helena, and just how much smoother have things gone having it be in year 2, and a lot of these players on the team, you know, have a lot more familiarity with what this is and how things go with flag football.
I think with anything, you know, over time you begin to learn new things. You begin to understand better concepts of how things are supposed to be ran. I think going into year 2 as a coach, he's grown a lot in being able to run plays better, being able to teach us how to execute those things better. Yeah.
You know, last year it was new for everybody. It was new for him. It was new for every single player that was out there. And now having some returners back, can you see that there's some that have been able to step up as leaders and step up and, you know, kind of take some ownership of this team this season?
Yes, the returners have definitely been able to help the new kids because this is my first year. So, like, having the people who played last year, they have definitely took us in and helped us learn how to do the things that we need to be able to do to win.
So you didn't play last year. What made you make the decision to come out now this season?
So my sister played on the team last year, and so I was watching, and I was like, that looks really fun. Football is something that's always been for males, and so having the option for females to play with it not being as aggressive and getting hurt and all that really just interested me.
Talk about watching your sister play. What was the one thing that really kind of stood out that made you, you know, click in your mind and say, hey, I want to be out there doing this now next year?
I think just the atmosphere, them having fun, them just being a team, and then also being able to compete.
You play softball as well, and so where do you feel like doing this now is going to benefit you as the spring rolls around and you go out there onto the softball diamond?
So we definitely run a little bit more in flag football, so the conditioning aspect will be very helpful, and then like footwork, you know, getting those foot motions down, those turning things, being quick with the hips, and all of that would definitely help playing softball.
You think from a competitive standpoint, just the competitiveness and being in a competitive environment and things, is that going to help as well when the season rolls around and having already done some big competitive moments during the year?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
y'all have had a really good softball program over the last couple of years, and has that trend, having that winning mentality, things like that, do you feel like that's translated over to this flag football team some?
Absolutely, because if you have a winning mentality in your personal life, that will begin to pour over and other people will see that and begin to have that winning mentality as well.
We've talked about some of the differences in flag football, regular football, and things like that. What was probably the toughest part in getting out there and learning, this sport and having seen what you see on Friday nights and Saturdays and things like that? What was probably the most difficult part of getting out there and learning this new thing, knowing that there's another game that's just like it that's kind of a little bit different?
Definitely not being able to touch the other person, that physical aspect, because in football you just go up and tackle them.
Yeah.
You can't really touch them, so you got to learn. Your hands got to be behind your back when you're blocking and stuff. So just the physical aspect of not being able to be as aggressive.
Playing defense, do you feel like you've gotten better as years gone on and finding that flag, being able to pull it off of somebody? Because that's not as easy as it looks out there.
It's definitely not. It's all about just breaking down and being in front of them and let them run into you and grabbing it.
When you look at the rest of the season for y'all, where do you feel like that this team's going to need to improve the most in order to win some of these meaningful games you guys have coming up and get where you guys want to get to in the postseason?
I think we have some really good plays on offense. I think just part of that execution, sometimes we don't execute the plays properly. That's just where that little extra help will come from when we need to start winning. Help win is the execution of those plays.
Coach and Grace kind of talked about other people have been wanting to come out and play the sport. You're one that decided to come out and play this year. What would be your message to other girls out there on why they should come get involved with this and why you want to continue to see this team grow in the future?
I think if you're a girl and you just want to get into something, you want to be active, you want that team atmosphere, you want the competitive atmosphere. It's a good program to get into just to have fun, to be a competitor in the sport.
Awesome. Ava, really appreciate you taking the time to join us here on Howlin with the Huskies. Good luck to y'all the rest of this season. Look forward to seeing how things go for y'all.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more here on Howlin with the Huskies right after this. The Steakhouse of Helena is the place for community gatherings, rich history, and delectable made-from-scratch meals. Our professional staff is dedicated to serving you with the best steaks, chops, burgers, salads, sandwiches, and more. You'll enjoy a welcoming community atmosphere, local history, and enjoyable dishes you won't find anywhere else. Our restaurant is perfect for the entire family, business events, and special occasions. So come on down to the Steakhouse in historic Old Town Helena. Welcome back in, Howlin with the Huskies live from the Steakhouse in Helena. Caleb Brooks now joined by Hannah Steele, junior member of the girls flag football team at Helena High School. And Hannah, I've talked with your teammates about this team so far this year, year two of having this sport around, and what for you makes this fun and makes this something that you really enjoy being a part of?
Coach makes it a really relaxed atmosphere. Whenever I'm playing, I don't feel much pressure. I just go out there and compete and have fun.
Being out there on the football field, how much more comfortable have you gotten? The more that y'all have played, the more that you've gotten to experience what flag football is like. How much more comfortable have you gotten out there on the football field?
I've gotten a lot more comfortable. The practice makes things a lot more crisper, and just being able to relax so I can flow through the motions.
It's a different sport. You got different type of concepts, different things like that. What has been the most fun part of learning all this for you and grasping, the differences in flag football and regular football?
The challenge. A lot when I'm watching TV, I try to figure out why they didn't catch the ball, why they didn't block the certain person. But when I'm out there, I realize how difficult it is. So being able to understand that challenge makes it good.
So you're yelling at the TV a little bit less this football season, watching games and stuff?
Yeah.
The hardest part for me would definitely be going out there and not being able to hit other, block, and you're wanting to help your teammate go off for a touchdown, but you can't put your hands on them. Is that one of the things that you have to think about the most out there, is not getting a penalty or anything for being too physical?
No, because I avoid trying to touch people. I don't want to hurt anybody. So it's really not a problem for me, though.
When you look at, having to grab the flag and that being the way that you make a tackle and stuff, it's like I was telling you, it's not as easy as it looks when you're watching on, TV or watching YouTube videos, things like that. And do you feel like you've gotten a lot better at that part of it, of breaking down on defense, being able to grab that flag and being a lot quicker with your hands and things like that and being able to grasp it?
Yeah, for sure.
What was probably the most difficult part in that part of it, in making tackles and making plays out there and having to grab the flag at first? And, because, the flags are going all over the place and people are moving. And so what was the hardest part in getting that part down at the beginning when you started doing this?
Like you said, how the flags are moving, the focus that it takes to zone into the flag, because a lot of times it's easy to grab the shirt or the shorts. So the focus level.
You play softball as well, a lot of hand-eye coordination in softball. Do you feel like doing this in flag football is going to help with that hand-eye coordination in softball as well?
Yes, I do.
When you look at, I talked with them about how the softball team's had a winning mentality over the last couple of years. Do you feel like a lot of that mentality has translated over to this flag football team and rubbed off on others that are playing as well?
It has. It's created a competitive mindset to go out there, win, go out there and compete, and even if you don't win, to leave all you have on the field.
Where do you feel like that, doing this is going to benefit you the most from a competitive standpoint when it comes to playing softball and things like that? Having already been out there, been in a competitive environment, playing against other people, that type of stuff, it won't be new when softball season comes around.
It won't. Like I said, the mindset will already be there, but I'll also be able to realize that it's just a game, so I can still have fun while competing.
Looking at the rest of the season, what are the biggest areas that you feel like this team's going to need to improve in order to go out there and accomplish what y'all want to accomplish and get into the postseason this year?
Execution. We know the plays, we know our job, but making sure we fulfill our job.
No seniors on this team this year. Your class is going to be counted on a lot moving into next year. How proud are you of the way that I guess that your group's really kind of stepped up and been those leaders this year and kind of already had to be the senior leaders a little bit, a year early here with this team this season?
Yes, I'm super, super proud of us. We really have stepped up, making sure that everybody's being held accountable for what they do, but also making sure that everybody has fun.
Well, listen, really appreciate you taking the time to join me here on Howlin with the Huskies, and good luck to y'all the rest of this year. Really looking forward to seeing how things go for y'all.
Thank you.
That's going to do it here for this episode of Howlin with the Huskies. I want to thank Coach Busby again for joining us. Thanks to the girls flag football team for taking the time to come out and join us and update us on everything going on with them. We'll be back next week to recap kind of the bye week and what Coach Busby and his team did during the week and start getting prepared for a big matchup with Calera. But that'll do it for us here on Howlin with the Huskies. Stay tuned for more here with Average Joe Sports Talk throughout the rest of the week.